This is a B question on this same line. What knowledge or experience do you have of election laws and enforcement? And you may have already said this.
Who is that for?
Let's go ahead, since this was really a same part of that question, let's go ahead and keep it.
It has to do with elections.
I should have read it
What
together.
experience do I have? So, I was with the sheriff's office for 18 years, and the sheriff's office is in charge of securing the precincts, the polling places, and in making sure that when the ballots are delivered to the sheriff's office, that they are controlled and accounted for and stored properly. So I am very familiar with the problem solving that goes on in the precincts. I have on occasion helped Judge Martin do a little bit of problem solving here and there. The interesting fact for law enforcement is all of those precincts, the only law enforcement that can respond to a law enforcement issue, a crime, is the sheriff's office. Regardless of what municipality you're in, the sheriff's office is the only law enforcement allowed to go into a precinct and deal with a problem. So I did that for 18 years, coordinated all of those ballots coming back in, and very familiar with the process from start to finish.
Can you repeat the question?
I can't. What knowledge or experience do you have of election law and enforcement?
Okay. Well, as most probably know, this is not my first time running for office. So when I ran before, that's one of the things I had to do. I wasn't that knowledgeable about all the details at the time, but I had to make myself knowledgeable because it's important that we do understand everything that's in place, the way the ballots are cast, the way they're brought in. And one of the things that I did is I watched the process. So I went and watched as ballots were counted. Also, as the finance director for the city, we were involved in the elections as far as there were boxes that the city would put out or would go make sure that the doors are open, and they would bring those in. So I got to watch that process as well. But in general, just being aware of what the laws are, reading about it, making myself, teaching myself by ensuring that I was up to date on the most recent laws. That's my experience with the election laws.
As the probate judge is the chief election officer in Calhoun County, and by law is required to work with our sheriff, which is currently Sheriff Nike Wade. He's also required to work with our circuit clerk, which is currently Ms. Kim Carson. The three of them work together to preside over the elections in Calhoun County, and everything is also reported to the Secretary of State. There are a lot of requirements, and I can't read those word for word without looking at the code section, but I have looked at the code section, I've read the code section, I've studied it, and in fact I have it on my printed material that's out in the hall. I also have read multiple opinions from the Attorney General's office addressing campaign laws, and when individuals have sought opinions from the AG's office regarding elections. I have worked on many campaigns, beginning with Mike Rogers' campaign back in the early 2000s, the first time that he ran to become elected as our U.S. Congressman, and that was probably the first campaign that I worked on, and I've continued working on campaigns for more than 20 years since then.
Okay, next question.